Alright, happy Tuesday, back for another day working on Pro Gymnast. I am Wallaber. Pro Gymnast is my action, acrobatics, QWOP style physics game I'm working on. I recently did a poll on my Twitter to ask what about this game appealed to people most so I could try to figure out how to market the game. And apparently the fails and the QWOPiness is winning. So apparently I need to accentuate the biffs and the difficulty and the ridiculousness a bit more as I try to make this game as appealing as possible. But today we're working on kind of the opposite of that. I'm picking up working on the tutorial. The tutorial I was working on yesterday. BitGamey, good morning. Hi, thanks for dropping by. Good morning to you as well. About to start a rock solid hour of fixing stuff. Alright, so yesterday we left off working on kind of one of the main tutorials in the game. It was about time to go back and make some improvements to it. And this is the one that teaches you how to build up swing, which you know, the best way to do it with the way the controls work is slightly counterintuitive to the way most video games, when they put you on something you can swing on, they're like, hey, here's how you swing. BitGamey says, I have watched this game since you started it and I love how it has progressed. Great job. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a long side project. Started when I was actually still employed full-time at a big games company, and with the intention all along of releasing it as a paid game, because I was allowed to do that. But I sense I didn't finish it before I left, basically, and now I'm on my own. So I'm got a few other projects I'm working on, but I'm excited to finish this one up and then move on to something new. You know, it's always a little more fun to start something than it is to finish something, but that's the way it goes. Okay, so this tutorial here, I've got a couple things I decided I wanted to do. One is, originally, so I created this thing that you can see, like the white weird path here, which is actually this hidden object in this tutorial that's called a what I call it, a tripwire sequence. It's basically a bunch of little tripwires that if you can trip them in order, you know, something can happen. And I was using that to detect if you've swung all the way around the bar, which is kind of how I was originally setting up this tutorial, to detect if you've made it around the bar. And that's why there's kind of this weird, like, wire just kind of sticking out of the middle of nowhere. It's because I have this invisible object here that I don't want to distract you with, but I was using to detect that you're actually swinging around the bar, which I think I want to get rid of at this point and just detect that in code, because I've got plenty of other specific code to this tutorial as is. So that's on the list today. The other thing is this segment here. So I should also have a specific side view camera for this. Specific camera. I put in some filtering yesterday, so now this little prompt, it's showing you like, hey, press the right stick to the right or to the left. It's looking a little better now. It's not quite as spastic as it was yesterday, which is good. The UI is overlapping for sure right now. Why is that? Let's see here. Where even is that happening? Trying to remember. Yeah, okay, over here. So this stuff, where is this? Oh, it's in Game UI, tutorial content, tutorial. Okay. So what have we got here? We have kind of an oddly placed square. I think that's being centered on the on this big round background piece. And we have a bunch of stuff I think that we weren't necessarily using. Let's take a look here. What do we got? This is the... Yeah, what is under here? Right, this was... I had some various lines I was going to animate with you, and I've kind of since moved away from most of these, it looks like, except for I left... Okay, this is the... this is the little thing that shrinks down and shows you when to press. So I still want that. I think these other two might be disabled. Or this one is just a dotted line saying, hey, here's where you should... I don't think I need this anymore either. Okay. Big Gamey's asking, did you create all the assets yourself? For the most part. The avatars in the game, I'm using an avatar system I found for Unity called UMA, which is like the Unity something avatar. And then I actually on the asset store found some base models, some male and female model for that system that I liked a bit more than the default one. So I'm using that, and hair and stuff I've sort of just found through various means online, bought and found. I'm using an asset plugin for the sky, and also for the ocean. I don't know if you can see it in the scene view here. It's a little weird. But yeah. Soulsy5, hello. Thanks for dropping by the stream bright and early. Sometimes I wonder if streaming at this time of day is not the best for getting people to drop by, but it's the best right now for working on the game, so what are you gonna do? As I was saying, yeah, I created most of the assets though. Like I said, the avatars are from a asset set. I have a dynamic sky asset I'm using, and an ocean asset that I am using, and the palm trees I think in the beach where I didn't make everything else pretty much. Oh hey, Sympathy, you're around too. What's going on? Hey, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I know. It's 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. time slot, right? People are just like getting started in their day. It's been really helpful for me though, because kind of having this schedule where I'm like, hey, I'm going to stream working on the game like an hour every day has really actually sped up my progress on the game, which is really good. And so it's working great for me, even if maybe I could be picking a better time if I wanted more people to be able to tune in. So hey, I'm sticking to it. Maybe I'll try at some point like picking a day of the week where I move this stream to another portion of the day. We'll see. Right now though, it's working pretty well. I'm making good progress on the game, so hey. Big Gamey, have you always been a physics king, or did you learn fast with this project? Well, physics-based games have kind of been my thing. Growing up, I played with a lot of Legos, especially the Technic-style Legos with gears and motors and stuff. And I have an older brother who is really into mechanical engineering and making things and stuff, so I've always had an interest in how you make things. And so once I started like physical things, I mean. And so once I started making video games and I discovered physics engines, this was, 15 years ago or so, they were a really cool way for me to get started, because I could think about how you would make something in physical reality, like a contraption, and you could just represent it in the game using the physics engine and get that thing to work. And so I've kind of always been interested in making games that work that way. In fact, this game, Pro Gymnast, is essentially like an HD remake with a lot of new improvements, but of an older game I made called Gymnast. So you can look that one up if you want. I have a website, wallaber.com, and there's a history page there. You can see all the old games I made back in the day. Yeah. Well, Sympathy, I didn't know your brother is a mechanical engineer too. Yeah. he went to school for it. He didn't end up making it his career, but that's his true identity for sure. Would it be easy to switch to Unreal Engine if you're a pro game dev on Unity? I don't know. I think I have actually embarrassingly little experience with Unreal, primarily because most of the sort of professional games I worked on as a team were mobile games, and then we made them in Unity. Although pre-Unity, we wrote our own engine for Jellycar and Where's My Water, so it's not like the only thing I've ever used is Unity, but I have not tried Unreal. My impression would be that if you're fairly experienced at making games, that it wouldn't be particularly difficult to transition, but I have never actually put my money where my mouth is specifically there when it comes to Unreal. Alright, so we were investigating all this UI I've got down here, and I want this to stay. This is our little prompt, which is working a little better now. But now where's this guy coming from? Why is that? Look at that. That doesn't make sense. Look at that placement there. Did something go weird with the placement on this? Whoa! What? Why would that be top justified? Hang on. Yeah, this is just my sprite. Yeah, sympathy. Just have your company do a boot camp, and then you're set to work in whatever software. I mean, that's pretty much true. If you just dive into anything, you can figure it out. Figuring out is part of the fun, right? If you like making stuff, which it turns out I like making games even more than I like playing them. I know this is true because I tend to spend my free time making them instead of playing them. Then figuring stuff out is part of the fun, right? So this is weird. Why when I set this to top justified is that thing hanging down so low? I don't have like a weird like carriage return or something in here. What? Is it a font size thing? Not really. Here, wait, let's try putting in some letters as well. Yeah, look at that. Okay. So it's clearly thinking that's the top of the rect here. Why is that? Look at that. We got some like dumb settings here somewhere. Extra settings. No. Visible descender. Don't know what that is. Okay. This is kind of weird. If I set this to bottom justified, it does a little better. If I set it to center, like it's kind of right. Look at that though. It's like it's trying to put the top of the text at the center point. Oh. Wait a minute. Okay. What are these? This is new stuff, I think. I updated, yesterday I had a bug, and I updated TextMesh Pro to fix said bug, and it looks like there's some new alignment options here that I am not familiar with, but this one, midline, looks like what I want. Okay, so now if we get rid of this, we can center this a little better. It's still like, I gotta fix my alignment though. Okay, so this is tutorial content 03B UI. Okay, let's go 3B UI. Let's go look at this prefab. Okay, so we have this swing meter junk, which I don't want anymore. I'm actually going to be a little more fast and loose with this and just delete junk that I don't need. Timing ring, yes. Prompt, that's the words that say like press now and stuff. we're probably going to want to drop this down a little lower and maybe set this to the new, this, no, this. Cap line, midline, baseline. Ooh, they have a lot of new alignment options. Interesting. Set to center. This is my new favorite one. Put it in the middle of the box, please. Okay. So that goes there. And then this is the actual slider with words here for like good timing, bad timing. And then this is my gross miscalculated layout. There we go. There we go. That's better. Now, oh yeah, we have this little like tick mark that comes down. I think that's okay. Yeah, because I think that way I have this set up. Yeah, as this guy, this whole thing slides like this. Cool. Okay. Alright. That layout looks better. Okay. Okay. Alright, my note here says get rid of the stupid tripwire. I agree, notes. Let's do that. Tutorial 03, I believe is the... Oh, no, actually... Right. It's not... The way I've built a lot of my tutorials is I actually just create like a special item, like a prop that gets put into the level through the same way all the other props get put into the level, but that particular item happens to have some extra logic on it to kind of like cause a tutorial to happen. In fact, look at this, we already have a camera. Oh, that's the intro camera. Okay, let's rename this. This is intro camera to show you the little sign that gives you instructions at the beginning. And then we can make another one. And this is going to be the swing camera. Okay, so let's go here to our script. I assume I have a reference to this camera. I do indeed. So we need another one now. This is going to be the swing camera reference. Okay, now let's start laying the groundwork for not using the tripwire junk. So we're going to get rid of this. We're going to need to track now if you're making it around the bar. And I think I'm going to think about what variables I'm going to want to do that, but we'll get there in a second. Alright, blah blah blah, let's go down here and yeah, so this is going away. All this is going away. And this is... Okay, so somehow... Here's where we need to detect... Did they do a giant? Which is what you call that thing where you swing all the way around the bar. A giant swing. So we're just going to have this not occur yet. Okay. Right. Unreachable code detected. I agree. It is temporarily unreachable. Okay, so we'll leave the rest of this alone. This code needs to get called when the gymnast makes it all the way around the bar, but we'll revisit that in a second. Okay, now somewhere down here I think I'm finding references to... Oh yeah, we can also get rid of this fill image. I don't want that anymore. I think so. So we're going to get rid of this giant meter fill image. And let's go find instances where we talk to that and get rid of them. Was that it? That was it. Okay, find references. We're finding this sig input and the tripwire track. We don't need those things. So sig input, we don't need that. Do I use that anywhere else? No? Okay. This is the kind of code you can just look at and immediately see that it's been like created and then changed and then changed and then edited and then changed like numerous times. Alright, let's go see if this compiles. Or did I miss something? Progress. Let's go look at this. Name progress does not exist. M last progress. Okay. That was the way we were still detecting spinning around the bar. Okay. When this little like thinking thing in the corner spins long enough, I know I don't have any compiler errors, because it's like if there's a compiler error, it finds it really fast and then it stops and you get the little red message. But if it spins for a little while, I know I'm good. Also means the project is kind of big, I guess, because it takes a while to compile, which is annoying. Alright, so now on this prefab we can get rid of this meter. I don't want that anymore. I can get rid of the whole canvas actually. Okay. And while we're in here, let's hook up the code to set the right cameras. Here, let's just do this simpler. We're gonna go like this, and then we're gonna go swing camera dot enabled equals true. Okay. Where else do we do camera junk? Right here. What is this? This is how you can skip out of the intro camera. So we need to turn on our other one now in that case. Is that it? That's it. Well, wait, no. I should be searching for intro camera ref. Yeah. Okay, start sequence. Here we want to make sure swing camera ref is not enabled. Okay. Here, stop sequence. We want to make sure swing camera ref is turned on. This should be like, I should have made this like a function or something. Called it in one spot. But whatever. Okay. Okay. Alright, that should be close. So now we can go back here. And we can go to this main one. Bit gaming. I was going to ask how easy do you find working with ragdolls, but looking at your history page, it looks like you've been doing that for a while. Congrats on going indie. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I have been meaning to. I think it'd probably be a good idea to make a video to put up on like YouTube or something that's kind of going over the configurable joint in Unity, which is one of the joint types they offer. They have like a hinge joint, spring joint, fixed joint, and configurable joint, at least in 3D. And configurable joint is by far the most powerful, but it is super confusing how it works. And I have slowly over time accumulated a fair amount of like awareness of how it works, so I probably should go over that sometime. I can use the this game as like an example and walk through, for example, how the Gymnast is all set up, because it's mostly setting up the joints well, getting the right mass, scale, and then values for the power, the springs, and the dampers, and the max forces for all the joints is essentially like 90% of why this Gymnast feels pretty good and is fairly like lifelike, I guess. What was I doing here? All right. So I think that's a cool video I should make at some point. Swing camera ref. I need to give it a reference to that camera. And okay, so now, yeah, we might as well. No, okay. Now I'm going to test out this, these changes, and at this point, the UI alignment should be fixed. The tripwire should be gone, meaning that weird distracting. Oh, let's fix that while we're waiting. What is this? Tutorial swing legs. We could do this in the editor, but I could also just go in here and say this asset, the tripwire path, which has all of this to here, can go away. It's a little scary to do this manually, but okay. That, I think, should do it. Now the level should not have the that tripwire piece or the rope connecting, the wire connecting it. Let's see. Okay, let's have a look. Now the tutorial should be broken because you can't, it won't detect you've actually done a giant swing, and so you won't be able to beat it. But if everything else is working, then we can just fix that. Okay, here we go. Let's learn the basic swing. It's all about timing. As you pass center, you swing your legs, hold it for a moment, then straighten out again. Try to make it all the way around the bar. Okay, kind of a long delay at the end there. What's going on? Because we have a null reference. What have I done? We have a null reference. Ooh! Look at this. Okay, so something in the UI... Oh. Swing meter... Yeah, okay. Got it. Okay, so this is going to be 3B UI. This prefab now, I just like deleted some things that it still thinks should be there. So I got to go to the code here and say I don't care anymore about swing meter live and swing meter target, these two. So we can just go like this, and then I'm just going to rely on the compiler to tell me where I am referencing those variables. Like this one here. Boop. Any others? We got a long spinny. I think that was it. Okay. Alright. So now I believe I'm going to have to build my asset bundles. Again, you guys can't see this because of the way I'm setting up the capturing. So anytime like a sub window appears on Unity, it doesn't show up on the stream. I think the only way to get around that is to actually like capture my whole screen instead of just capturing the window. But I don't know, I've already got it all set up so that like I don't have to think about it. Like when I switch to the code view, it just like automatically flips over to that and stuff. And then it means I can like open up, I don't know, a web pane or something and log into something or whatever, and it won't show up on the stream. So I kind of like the way I have it set up right now, but it means you just have to imagine some of the more minute aspects. Okay, done building. This asset bundle thing is not a Unity thing exactly, it's a me thing because that's the way I've set up. All the props in the game get bundled into an asset bundle, and that's how I load them when I'm making a level or when I'm loading a level. But it means whenever I change a prop, I have to rebuild the asset bundle. Okay, let's learn about the base swing. Pass center, swing your legs, hold it for a moment, and then straighten out again. Try to make it all the way around the bar. Oh. Okay, so now the problem is I believe we have switched to my new camera. We have, but I didn't do anything with this camera. I didn't make it look anywhere productive. So let's actually set it up right now. This camera is the one that's like, hey, let's learn how to swing, but I also kind of want you to be able to see the screen. Now, do we want to do that via pulling back like this? You know, like that? Or I could come in a little closer and I can widen up the FOV. Like, let's try kind of like very wide FOV and then bring it in like this. Which do we prefer here? I guess in this case, I mean, I kind of want to be, I think I want to be back, farther away, more narrow FOV, yes. Because I want you to have a fairly like side-on view. Maybe not perfectly side-on though, so let's try and do this, and then turn this a little bit, bias it a little bit so you can see the text. Okay, let's try that. So I'm going to copy that position and rotation, and then I'll go back. Oh, I should have tested more stuff while I was there. Oh well. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to set the swing cams transform to those values. Okay. And I might as well have it be disabled by default. Okay. Yay, build the asset bundles again. Okay. So let's start thinking about how to best detect that you've done a full swing around the bar. Now I have a thing in here, not here, here, called angle, which I know it goes from 0 when you're down to positive 180, then flips to negative 180 and goes back to 0. So really, yeah, we should think about how I want to do this. I think what I can do, actually, somewhere down here we have this, right? Yeah, let's do this. Let's do private float m gymnast angle accum for like accumulation equals 0.0 f. Okay. Then what we're gonna do here is down here. We already have this thing called angle change, right? And so we're gonna do accumulated angle plus equals angle change. And then down in here somewhere, let's see. Yeah, we have this like crossed 0 thing we do right here. I think here what we can do is we can say and I'm gonna have to move some of this stuff up or move this part down. Here, let's do this. Let's get all these useful variables and let's do them. Why do I have this like? I have like an empty set of brackets there. That seems dumb. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Reformat. Okay. So up here, I think what we can do is we can realize we need to reset and detect things right here. So if the sine of the angle, the gymnast angle, does not equal the sine of the last angle, right? So for example, when you cross the bottom here, you'd be like, oh, I was at like, you know, plus 1, plus 0.5, 0, Now I'm at negative 0.5 or whatever. So when the sign flips, we know we've either crossed the bottom or we've crossed the top, where it will go from approaching 180 to then flipping to negative 180. So did the sign flip? And yeah, we're gonna need some filtering here for this. Angles are so annoying. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. We only want to accumulate if the sign didn't flip. Oops. Yeah. I could even do... Oh, that should be okay. Okay, and so then here, if we're at the bottom, so if the absolute value of the angle is less than whatever, 90, right? So we're on the bottom part of the swing. Reset. And gymnast angle accumulator equals 0. Okay, if we're not, we're at the top. We're not going to do anything right now. We're just going to skip adding for that one moment where the sign flipped. Yeah. Okay. Now let's try just printing out the angle accumulation. And ideally, I think what will happen is right here, we should be able to know if that was a full rotation, because gymnast angle accumulation should be close to 360. Okay, let's go back to the project here. Does that compile? Okay. Alright, let's go see if we've got this almost back. Angles in rotation are the coder's nemesis. Yeah, they are. There's actually there's some helper methods and stuff that Unity provides that do take some of the pain out of it. Sometimes I think I'm under reliant on some of those things because I'm just so used to doing things, you know, the way I've gotten used to doing them. Alright, so now we should, boom, we're at the new camera. Cool. We're getting prompts. That's cool. Now, if we go here and look at what's going on here. So like, there, that moment, we've accumulated 60 degrees of angle change. That looks about right. Yeah, see, the calculated angle is 60.28 and the accumulated angle is 60.263, so that makes sense. That's probably just counting for the small error when you cross 0, and I threw that away. I didn't, like, capture the remainder from 0 to the new value. In this case, that's not going to be necessary. Let's see. So if we go like this, I want to see what happens when I go past the top, because here, where are we looking at now? This may have a bug. So what were we doing here? Look at this. We were coming up to 180, and then the accumulator like totally cheesed out and jumped down to 80, and then 17, and then 0, and then started counting the other direction. So interesting. Let's look at this a little closer. So what we're going to want to do is I want to get rid of this debug print because it's making it harder to see what's happening. All right. Alright. So, what do we got? Right, when you cross 0, like right here, okay, we're counting up to like 60. Then we should actually count down again now because we're going the other way. Back to like, yeah, roughly 0. Then we count negative, and then that drops again to 0. Okay, so that's okay. That's working as I would expect. Now what happens when we cross like 90-ish here? Like this, not all the way over. How's that look? So there we climb up. We count all the way up to 120 or so. Then we count back down. On that side we go to 120. Okay, so it's just when we're crossing the top is going to be the problem. Let's double check. So we'll go like this, and we'll swing over the top like that. Well, not quite. No, let's use the legs over the top. Okay. Yeah, so look at this. We let me think about this. The number is climbing, right? Like it's because we're using angle change. Oh, it's the smoothing. The smoothing is screwing it up. See, I have this angle here, which is like the raw angle that's calculated from the Gymnast, and then I'm smoothing that angle out a little bit, which is very useful for other parts of the code, but is not particularly useful here because I was trying to catch the one frame where you flip, but the delta here is going to be crazy for a few frames right at the top there. Several frames probably because I have the smoothing happening. Okay. Okay. So maybe my code was okay. If let's just try changing this to be I don't have a Gymnast last angle that's not smoothed. Do I need that? I might. Will the game have a record and share feature? Yeah, sort of. Actually, yes. It has a pretty cool replay system. So when you're playing the game, it's any given level, it's recording like pretty much everything that's happening for like the last, I think, minute or so. And then at any point you can either pause and go into the replay editor, or if you beat the level you can go to the replay editor and you can then go back and forth in time and see that replay and set up start points, end points, camera angles, and then you can export that, either a single clip or like a little edited montage that you can build as a GIF or an MP4, and they get exported and saved in a folder in your desktop, and then you can share those. I use those all the time to generate pretty much all the GIFs and videos I share of the game, unless I add some titles or something to it, but generally speaking, yeah, I put a lot of effort actually into that feature, so I hope somebody will use it. We'll see. It's good for me either way because it's helped me share the progress on the game. Yeah, so the system is not particularly clever. It's basically, you can mark objects in the game as I want to be recorded. Like, for example, the transform. You can say, I want the position and rotation of this object, this transform, to be recorded. You put a little script on it to signify that. And then at the beginning of the game, it allocates a huge buffer in memory of, like, it knows the frame rate it wants to record at, and it knows how many objects want to be recorded. And it makes this huge buffer, and then every, as it's recording, it goes along and marks down the position and the rotation of the different objects. Which is very kind of wasteful from a memory point of view, but or I don't know if wasteful is the right word, but it uses a lot of memory, only when the game's running, obviously. But the benefit of it is you can hop around in the timeline. So like the other option, right, that people do for recording systems is they just record the input from the player, like, oh, they press this, they press that, and then they re-simulate the game to like playing back that input to get back to the same state. I think things like Mario Kart, for example, work this way when they do a replay. But it has some limitations. It means like if you want to jump to 15 seconds into the replay, you need to simulate 15 seconds worth of the game happening in order to reproduce the conditions that happen at that 15th second. This system, which is more brute force, is just like I just literally mark down the positions and rotations of things at some kind of frequency. Means if I want to jump to a certain point in time, I can just do this much math, which says that point in time would be keyframe somewhere between keyframe 900 and 901. So I'm just going to leap to that point in my buffer and then figure out where I am between 900 and 901 and interpolate, and boom, there you go. And that's basically how it works. I ended up writing special scripts for things like particle systems and some other things like that to keep track of, but that's the gist of it. And since it allocates all the memory up front, it doesn't cause a hitch or anything. But that's why I have a limit on the recording duration, because I don't want to, if you play a level for a really long time, I don't want to keep trying to find new memory to record the replay. All right, so let's see. We're just gonna give ourselves a private float m gymnast last angle unfiltered, right? So we can keep track of this. And then down here we're gonna say, I feel like there's probably a way to make this work with my smoothing, but let's try the simple way first. So right here we're gonna say if the sine of angle, the unfiltered one, does not equal the sine of my new unfiltered one, and if the unfiltered angle is less than 90, then we did a giant. Otherwise, add, and we can't add angle change here. We need to add angle minus my unfiltered one, because we don't want a filtered version of the accumulator either. Okay. And then down here where at the bottom where we're remembering stuff for the next frame, we will do my unfiltered angle is just angle. Okay, so now so now I think this is going to be slightly more reliable. Right here we're saying like, hey, did we flip signs? Which should only happen at the bottom and the top. Was at the bottom, because the overall angle is on the bottom half of the wheel here. Cool, reset. Otherwise, and then here, so you notice we don't add to the accumulator for the frame where the signs flipped at the top. So that should be that one frame where the 180 becomes a negative 180 and is going to give us a huge delta that we want to ignore, which I could also, of course, do some math on to flip it around and get it in the right space, so to speak. But for now, we're just going to try and ignore that one frame, essentially, or update. Otherwise, we add to this. All right, let's see if that can detect things better. Okay. All right. How are we looking here? Okay, it's still counting up and down, which is what I would expect it to do when you're swinging back and forth. We go up pretty high, we get to like negative 100 or so, 120, okay. Now for the moment of truth, go across the top. Here we go. Here we go. Pause. Oh, look at this. This is looking good. Look, 160, 170, and look at that. We crossed past 180 and we're still adding numbers, which is exactly what we want. We've made it to 200 degrees. Oh, this code probably also needs to be updated. So when we come around here and we're about to reset, we're at 337. 334, look at this. And we cross right about here. And we made it to 355 degrees. And then we reset. Okay, so now, what are we going to do? We're going to have a little boolean here called did giant, which is false 99% of the time, except for right here we say if math f dot absolute value of the accumulator, right, is greater, the absolute value of the accumulator is greater than 300 degrees, did giant is true, y'all. And then we still reset this, and then down here we say if did giant, because the rest of this should work. Then when we add to the number of giants you've done. This should work now if you go the forward over the bar as opposed to backwards, or you know, a forward giant versus a, or whatever you call it. Whichever way you swing around should work. Now I was noticing that this guy crossed uptime. Where is that getting set? Previous time is, oh, okay. I shouldn't worry about this. That's fine. Okay. Okay. That was some code saying an amount of time has elapsed where we wanted the player to release the input. Wasn't related to angles. Okay. Now, let's leave this debug in one more play here. Boom. Boom. Okay. So, now if I go all the way around, look at that. Go all the way around. It's detecting. Now if I stop like this. Oh, well, that was too many. Or too good. Let's try it again. Ooh. What's going on here? Why are we frozen? What did I break? Well, let's quit out, come back in. I don't want to be adding bugs, I want to be removing them. I heard that's how you succeed. Okay. Let's do a giant around forward. Okay, easy, easy, go. And happy, and happy. Okay, now let's kill our swing. Right? Okay. And happy, and one more to go, that will be it. Okay. Alright, now let's look at this bug. So I was here, and I said, play this level again. Why? Like a bunch of things are kind of weird here. Like, no, the camera's right, but the gymnast is frozen. Okay, let's just go make sure this isn't a global thing. It probably is. Let's go here. Random non-tutorial level. Oh look, I beat the level. Here I am. Play this level again. Oh no, it's fine. Okay. Oh, what a graceful way to win the level. BitGame, if you're still around, you can see actually the replay system right there in this. It's using the replay system to make these little this little recap here. Also to kind of advertise that you should go check out the replay editor there. So that's playing back what it saw. And then you can go here. This is the actual replay editor where you can scrub through the timeline and you can like set up little clips and stuff. Okay. So why I'm almost done. So, why does the swinging basics level not restart? Here we go. We've got all the... Like, why would the gymnast get frozen specifically? I can go like this. I can hit retry. Things are okay. I can resume. Things are okay. Might be kind of cool if the input prompt, like, had a little glow or something when you're doing the input. It's kind of ambivalent at the moment. Okay, so here we go here. And then we hit play this level again, and everything is working except the gymnast is frozen. Okay. And it's not like we're throwing an exception or anything. Doesn't look like it. No. We can probably silence this debug log now because our angle code is unbelievably robust at this point. Oh crap, that's going to cause a recompile, and then I'm going to kind of lose my state here. Boop. Okay. Alright, let's see. I need to finish up, but let's see if we can maybe get a hypothesis going here for why this doesn't want to replay. It's interesting because I can go here, I can go retry, which should be similar code flow. That works fine. Okay. I've got some bugs there with the screen too. If you're like kind of going faster than it wants you to. Okay, so play again. Gymnast is frozen. We know it's not like the timescale is set to 0 or something because other things are animating. Let's go look at the gymnast. Here is the gymnast prefab. A little easier to see if I do this. If we go look at these rigid bodies, they are not kinematic. Okay, so this makes me feel like physics.auto-update is set to false right now. Can I see that if I go to here? No, not preferences. Edit, project settings, time, and then physics. Okay, auto simulation is off. If I turn this on, we're back. Okay. Really? There's not that many places that I touch physics.auto auto simulate. Okay, well there's no, I got it. Not this. Okay, manage your game. Yeah, this is where most of this happens. This is just a check. This is just a check. What is this crap? Okay, that's something else. That's just a check. That's just a check. That's just a check. 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 Okay, so all the places I do this are here. Where do I ever set it to false? Right, when we're going into replay. That makes sense. When you are selecting the start position for a level that has more than one start position. When the countdown for a level starts. And when the countdown ends. Okay. All right, so let's do this. So here is if we're going into the game and we were at the replay viewer. Okay, why is it... What is it about this tutorial that breaks it? That's weird, right? Are we doing something... I don't feel like we're doing anything weird in here. Alright, so let's just try this really quick. So we're just gonna be dumb here, and we're gonna put a breakpoint everywhere we change this. Okay? Which is gonna be a little annoying to step through this. Okay, but now we should be able to run. Okay, we'll go here. Let's play. Let's see what's different about these flows. So we come in here, here, swing basics. Okay, we should hit a breakpoint pretty soon. We did. Okay, this is us turning simulation on in start game. Okay, now we're in and we're simulating. Look at us simulate. Okay, pause. Pausing the game doesn't actually change the simulation settings. Looks like it just changes timescale. Let's hit retry. Okay, we didn't hit any of that. Interesting. Alright, well, let's do the win case. Okay. Okay. So now we are coming into here because, yeah, we're going into replay mode. We don't want to simulate. That makes sense. Here we are. Okay. Now we hit play this level again. How do we not hit any... Because it's a tutorial. I bet this is broken on all the tutorials. Let's check. I bet this is broken on every tutorial level. Like, let's go back to... Oh, get the cursor off there. Let's go back to, like, one of these early ones, like the first one. Okay, we hit our breakpoint there because that's us turning on the simulation. We drop, we land on the mat. Hey, good job. You landed on the mat. Okay. We stop simulating because we're going to the results screen. We hit play again. Ha 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 ha. Okay. So the thing here that I was looking through where I was like, look, here's how we do this. We do this by right. So this flow where you select start positions has it. But this, if we don't start a countdown, we're never going to make it to here, which is going to actually do this. Now, where do we... Okay, so here we go. So on retry, there's going to be more than one place that does this. This is what I think we just need this. We need that. Because the other place we do start countdown is here. But in this case we've called start game. And start game sets auto simulate right here. So if we, yeah, okay. I think that was it. Do I still have breakpoints set? Okay, let's get rid of the breakpoints. Let's go back here. Oh, man, all the tutorials were busted. I wonder if that was the case in the demo that I released recently. I hope not. I think not. I think it's because I've been working on adding that cool new replay overview thing to the results screen, and that introduced some new code flow that wasn't there before. Okay, so now let's go to any old fast tutorial like the first one. Okay, game works. You can drop, you can beat the level, you can play the level again, and this level's got a weird thing where first time you come into it, things start different. Like if I come out here and I come back in, this first time the mat is like weird. See, look at that. You gotta figure out what that is. Okay. Why mat strange on tutorial 1 first load. Okay. And then we can look at it here and see. Yeah, see, look, it's like the mat is like colliding with something out of the gate. So replay system is helpful sometimes for things like that. All right, let's go just double check now that this tutorial is happy. It's already looking quite a bit better with the cleanup we've done, so that's good. Okay, play again. Yay! Oh. It looks like I'm not resetting my accumulator when the level resets. Yeah. So I feel like if I go like that and then hit retry, yeah. See, it thinks we're completing giants. Okay. Fix that real quick. So that would be that the angle accumulator needs to get reset in various places, like down here somewhere in what, probably start sequence. Yeah. So in here, that giant count's getting reset. This needs to be 0.0f, and this needs to be like reset. Okay. All right. I think that is a good stopping point for today. We made some good progress. This tutorial is mostly cleaned up now. And we'll come back tomorrow, maybe take a look at that issue on the first tutorial I just saw where the mat starts out weird on first load. And maybe consider a little bit more polish on the one we worked on today. BitGamey, great stream. Thank you, man. I appreciate you dropping by, or actually I have no idea if you are a man or not, but thanks for coming by either way. And we'll be back tomorrow for another hour of making progress on this game. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.